night too. And Betty, hey Betty, Betty's just joined us. Thank you for joining. All right, so let's get this started. So I want to say we are off to an amazing start. And from the conversations that I've had with all of you this week, I've learned that you are an awesome group of leaders. And let's go ahead and use this time that we have on these collaborations to build a really great group. Because when this is all said and done, you'll still have each other to support and help one another. So let's make sure we take advantage of this time that we have together as a group. Alrighty. And now if I can just get my slides to change here. All right. So it was really great getting to know you. And so I have a little bit on all of you that I just want to go through real quickly. Vilma recently retired after working for 23 years with Disney. So that's incredible. And she built a successful Avon business at the same time. Valerie homeschools her two sons, which I cannot even imagine doing that, especially boys, and still manages to have a successful Avon business. Joanne has her master's degree, works as a radio personality for Roomba 100.3 there in Orlando, and is busy traveling with her 10-year-old daughter Cassidy to pageants all over the country and still manages to have a successful Avon business. Sylvia works full-time in community development for Seminole County, and that's after she's already retired from working for the city of Orlando after many years. She loves vacationing with her family, and even with all of this, she's been able to build a successful Avon business. Betty lived in Denver for 25 years and owned a successful franchise business before moving back to Florida. So she's now retired and ready to focus on her Avon business now that she's settled back into Melbourne, where she grew up. And then Barbara is the only girl in her family. She has 5 brothers. Can you believe that? Oh my. That must have been fun growing up with 5 brothers in the house. But she keeps busy taking water aerobics and enjoys spending time with her daughter, who's in high school theater. And her husband, she enjoys spending time with him. He is actually her co-op in her Avon business. And Barbara, keeping busy all the time, still manages to have a successful Avon business. Brenda Edwards and her husband share the responsibility of caring for her mother-in-law who lives with them. And even being a caregiver, she has a lot of time that takes from her schedule. She still loves to make jewelry as a hobby. She does all of this and manages to have a successful Avon business. Brenda Armstrong, like Brenda Edwards, Brenda Armstrong is also a caregiver. She provides care to her mother. Brenda is a native Floridian and very involved in her church. She loves to read to de-stress, and she does all this while building an Avon business. Millie, oh my goodness, Millie's life is centered around her family, and that's really important to her. She has 4 children and 12 grandchildren, which I cannot even believe. She looks way too young to have 12 grandchildren. But she enjoys being with them and traveling. Her husband signed her up, and I know he must be proud because Millie has built a very successful Avon business. Gemma is a true entrepreneur. She has built a successful Avon business in just 4 short months. She loves music and wants to learn how to play the guitar, and she also wants to learn how to speak French. And like many of you, her husband supports her 100% in her Avon business. And last but not least, Allison is a military spouse with 3 cats. She loves doing Avon events, but most of all, she loves to shop. Allison works for a manufacturing company full-time, but she still manages to build her Avon business. Allison also has a big heart, and she shared with me that her Avon business has given her the opportunity to give back as she donates some of her Avon earnings to homeless vets. So we thank you for that, Allison. I think that's very generous. So that's just a few tidbits of things that I learned from each of you this week. So hopefully that has given you all information, for this whole group. It's such an amazing start. So some of the things that you share with me that you would like to have additional training on, and of course you're going to think of other things along the way, but several of you said that you would like to learn more about using Vibe and the Avon Relationship Manager and reports. We actually have a Vibe training on Monday night, so if you haven't, check your email and the invitation is there. So that'll be this coming Monday. A lot of you also said that you wanted more information on social selling and networking. So we'll talk more about that in this program, and then maybe do some extra things on the side, or even following this program when we wrap it up in January. But we'll see what's going on. We have that really great program on Wednesday nights. It's just finished. They kicked off another opportunity last night, but as long as you are part of that, if you registered to take part in that, and if you didn't get an opportunity to be there every Wednesday night, or not even at all, you can still access all those recordings on their Facebook page. So make sure you check that out. It's really some great information, will really help you with your business. And then some of you told me that you want to get better at using technology to communicate with your team, like learning how to do meetings like these, virtual meetings, using Zoom or other formats. And certainly we can talk about that. I think that maybe that would be better left to some one-on-one meetings that we'll have, we'll do face-to-face. So I will be out in the field every other week for a couple days. So stay tuned for that. I'll be sending out information on when I'll be out in your area, and we can set up a time to meet if you're interested in talking about that or anything else. And that you're also interested in just discovery, in both selling the product and the opportunity. And the good news is we're going to be covering most of these things in our upcoming modules, but we will have the opportunity to do additional training in the future on the topics as needed. So this is our hot topic, and what you're going to find with every module is that we're going to have a hot topic, and so you don't have to share if you don't want to, but if you do want to let us know who your hero is and why, I'll give you just a couple minutes, but I'll start first just to break the ice. My hero is my dad. Both my parents were very influential in my upbringing, of course, and just in turning me into the person I am today. But I've got to say that my dad probably was the largest influence. I was just always impressed and inspired by him. My dad was had severe rheumatoid arthritis, and even through all of his struggles and his pain and his agony, it was just horrible. He had such a strong work ethic, and it just rubbed off on me. And he took me into work quite often. He owned a business, and after he sold that, he and my mom purchased another business. So I was always raised in a family-owned business. And if you've ever done that, you know that in order to be successful, you have to work really hard. And of course, you all have your own businesses, so you know what it takes to be successful. You've got to be dedicated and just strong-willed and focused in order to be successful. And that was my dad, and he did all of that even though he was ill a lot. So he is my hero. And this wasn't his quote, but he had something very similar to this. And when I found this a couple of years ago, I had printed it and I saved it, and I have it in my office. But this quote from Misfit is, "No matter where you are in life, inspire and empower." My dad, of course, said the people around you. Success is never reached alone, and wisdom and wealth are sweeter when they're shared. So he always said something like that, and so I love this when I saw it. It's like, oh my gosh. In fact, I think I'm going to probably I have a friend that makes signs. I think I'm going to have a bigger sign made for my office, something similar to this. I love it. Love it. Okay, so it's your turn. If anybody wants to share, just step up to the plate. Anybody?
I'll share.
Okay, Allison, thanks.
My hero is my mom because she raised my brother and I alone without child support or anything, just a lot of dedication and a little bit of help from our family.
So I know that that is inspiring, and to have a strong, woman in your life, and especially your mother, I know that means a lot to you. So
Yeah.
thank you. That's awesome. I know. Whenever I talk about my dad, it's like I think on the first go around with the first coaching class, I actually started crying. So I promised myself tonight, it's like, okay, I'm not going to cry when I tell my story or hear your stories. But anybody else want to share? Thanks, Allison.
I'll share.
Okay, go, Gemma.
Okay. Well, I had two, which are my parents, my mom and my dad. Um, because both of them has showed me similar things and yet different. I mean, my dad is someone who only went up to the 8th grade and then had to stop going to school so that he could work and help his family. Um, and he is someone who, despite that, has advanced so much because of his work ethic and his attitude towards life. He is someone who is always about helping everyone around them. And it's, similar to what you were saying about how your dad, you have to always empower those around you. It's true. He's always talking about how you need to help everyone else go up with you. That you don't have to make other people suffer or put other people down just so that you can succeed. So that was always something that stuck with me. And my mother is just, I think, the most self-sacrificing person I have ever met in my life. I mean, she is someone who had the potential that if she wanted to go into the business world or into anything to just be amazing. Like, she has a way with words. We always used to make laugh about it that she could sell, ice in Alaska or whatever, because she will sweet talk you and she knows how to talk to people, how to convince people. She wanted to go back to college. She did go back for a few classes, but she's always put herself kind of on the side. It's something my sisters and I actually kind of get on her for, that she needs to start taking time for herself. Um, but she did, both of them together just showed me that the importance of not only, make sure your family's okay, make sure you're okay, but also helping others out. They've both gone above and beyond. I mean, my mother has recently had stopped because some car was broken down and she noticed the people were having a hard time. It was an older lady, and her husband was in a wheelchair, and there was a problem with the car. It was this whole big situation. She was out till like 10 o'clock at night
Oh,
because they were just people who were traveling through from one state down to, I think, Miami. So she made sure that they didn't have a cell phone, or their cell phone had died. So she was calling and having us look stuff up online, and we were trying to get him, help with someone that can grab him with his electrical wheelchair. She just will go so far out of her way to help people that it's just an inspiration and a constant reminder that we have to always not only focus on ourselves, but those around us. And they both, I mean, we've never been extremely rich, but we've always had enough, more than enough, most of our lives. We've had some bad times, some good times, but it's always never been about showing off for who has more, or anything like that. And it's always been about appreciate what you have and help those around you. And so that to me is what success really is. And so I've always admired both of them.
oh my goodness. Well, thanks for sharing. It sounds like you have amazing parents. So thank you. Thanks, Gemma. Anybody else? No? Okay, then we'll move on. All right, so I talk about this often, and I will probably put it in every other collaboration call. And I know those of you that I've worked with in the Orlando area, we hosted a skincare clinic some time ago, and we talked about this in Orlando at our Drive Like a Boss. So I'm not going to, elaborate on the importance of this, but these are the instructions on pinning the skincare advisor to your phone. I am going to make a screenshot of this and email it to you, and I encourage you to have your downline members do this because skincare is going to help you sell more. And one of the things I've heard this week is I need to sell more. And, why not, start selling more skincare? It's the product that people are going to buy over and over and over again. So let's get busy with that. All right. So our kickoff activities were all about your belief. So now we need to get ready to talk about your belief and how you can succeed in your Avon business. So if you are great at selling Avon products and the Avon opportunity, the sky is the limit. So while the word selling can sometimes feel intimidating, icky, Avon's approach to selling is all about making connections, sharing, and having conversations. So that's easy, right? Well, in our next module, which is called Conversational Selling, you're going to learn more about how we can create meaningful, sincere connections and sell the Avon opportunity. So our group seminar is on Tuesday, the 24th at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, I'm going to be sending out your homework. So I'll always send it out before the seminar so you have a chance to look at it. So over the weekend, just take a minute, look it over. And that way, if you have any questions, we can answer those on Tuesday. But the application guide homework is called Growing Your Business. And I'll need to have that returned no later than the following Sunday, October 29th. And then as a reminder, don't forget that we have next Thursday a Level Up meeting. It's a leadership chat, and we are focusing on helping our promoters and our star promoters gain their title. So we know when they earn their title, it's going to help you get where you want to be. So if you're needing to add extra leaders in your downline, hopefully we're going to give them the foundation where they'll understand, hopefully better, what it means to be an ambassador and what's in it for them. Their opportunity to earn bonus and commission and more. So it doesn't matter where they live. They can live in our area. They can live in New Jersey. It doesn't matter. We just want to help them gain title, make more money so that you can make money too. So we have 2 meetings, one at 7 and one at 8. So if you have Spanish only speaking representatives or representatives that would prefer to come to the Spanish meeting, everything that we do is going to be translated and presented by a Spanish speaking coach. So we will offer that every time for our Spanish community. So we're here to help everybody. And that is really it. This particular module is just short and sweet, all about you. But I do want to open it up to any of you that have any questions or any concerns, if there's anything that you'd like to share. Anything? Come on, guys.
I have one small question.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
With the new schedule for ordering, how are the orders going to be delivered? Are we going to have, I wouldn't think we'd have our regular delivery guy anymore. Do you know how that's going to work?
I don't know if you'll have the same person, but you're going to have the same company. So if your order comes private delivery, it will continue private delivery. If it comes UPS, it will remain UPS. So Avon was able to negotiate with the contracted delivery companies to remain on the job. Now, our Avon is going to be delivered along with everything else that they happen to be delivering that day, whether it's, medical supplies. So they're not going to be, solely dedicated to Avon, on that particular day. So your time is likely to change. So if you've been getting your order in the morning, that might not be the case now.
Okay.
Because people are
worried it would
to change your schedule.
Okay.
We found in the pilot that 70% of the representatives in the pilot actually changed their order day. So, I think that there's still going to be heavy Avon on the same days. I think from everybody I talk to in our area, everybody seems to be happy, with the schedule. So, why change if you're happy? If you're good with where it is, then just leave it where it is.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
I have a question about that too, Marie.
Sure.
Can you? All right. Now everything I've read said that you have to place your order by noon on the 31st of the month in order for it to count for 23.
Correct.
So because if you, like it used to be, we ordered at midnight on Thursday and I would get my order on Tuesday. If I place my order before noon on Friday, will I still get it on Tuesday, or am I now in a different day? Like, did the days go from noon to noon, or are they still at midnight?
Yeah, I've heard two different stories. So I until this first go around, I honestly don't know. I would say, to be on the safe side, I would get the order in by noon on Thursday. I know if Friday if you put it in on Friday morning, it's still gonna ship out. It probably won't ship out till Monday. Are you on private, Barbara, or?
Yes, I'm on private.
Okay, so you should still get it on Tuesday. I would say you submit it on Friday. I think you should.
Okay.
No promises though.
All right.
Yeah, because I mean, so look, you were getting it in by midnight on Thursday. It wasn't processing until Friday. If you put it in Friday morning, it's still going to process Friday.
Okay. All right. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our systems don't update until the middle of the night, through the night. So people were putting their orders in at 11:59, and it was still, taking the next morning for everything to process. So as long as you get it in early on Friday, you should still be getting the same delivery day.
Okay. Thank you. Sure.
Any other questions? So as leaders, I guess the one thing that I would encourage you to do now is to start looking at your flexible ordering report on Vibe, especially if you have a lot of people in the Southeast. So you'll be able to see their previous orders and sort of get an idea, like if they were RPS 2 or 5 or whatever. When we get halfway through the schedule, if you see that they've not placed an order, then you need to start being proactive and calling them, making sure they're aware that they have, look at the schedule. So for this first time, they have through the 31st, the 18th through the 31st. You want to make sure they're aware that they're not in the same ordering, like they can't necessarily wait like they did in the past to put in a late order. So there's no such thing as a late order anymore. It's either in the time frame or it's going to be in the next campaign. So, but you can see on that Vibe report who's put in an order and who's not. And you'll start seeing trends, which I think is really great as well. To be a good opportunity to start conversations when you see people, skipping every other campaign or, sort of going back and forth in the ordering schedule. But anyway, so keep an eye on that because in the beginning we just want to make sure everybody's on the same page and they're comfortable with the new process. All right. I had a feeling you guys were going to ask about flexible ordering. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good thing, especially when you're working towards incentives and you have to have X number of orders or sales, or you're coming towards the end of the flexible ordering schedule and making like $200 away from your team sales there where you need to be. You can get busy on the phone calling people. By looking at that report, you can see who's not placed an order and try to drive that last $200 so you can get to your team sales. In fact, Vilma and I see she just got on a few minutes ago. Vilma and I had a conversation this afternoon. She was like $900 away last campaign from making her team sales. With the new flexible ordering, you can get halfway through the schedule and figure out where you are and then start driving sales. Even if they don't want to go through your Avon.com, you can send them to Miami Sales Center, encourage people to put in additional orders so that you don't miss out on being where you want to be to hold your title. So the flexible ordering is going to be a good thing for leaders. Okay. All right, guys. Well, this was short and sweet, but I am so glad that you joined. I'll send out the information for our next module tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And if you need me, I'm going to be in my home office almost all day tomorrow. I have a presentation in the morning, like from 10 to 11:30. But after that, if you need me, give me a call.
I actually have one question.
Sure.
I accidentally clicked over to a different screen, and I had logged into your Avon before, and I have a message that comes up saying that it's for bronze ambassadors and above, and it's saying that in addition to the current recruitment offer that I guess that we know about, they're piloting a second type of rebate that will feature, it says, special limited time exclusive offers around holiday shopping. So the leads are still going to come to us through Alma, but it says here we won't know, we might not know the type of offer that the lead received. So if they ask us, are we going to find out what these special offers are? Because I'm just wondering if I call a lead and they ask me about the special offer, how would I know what to say?
Well, that's a good question. And the meeting that I'm on in the morning, I bet that's something that they're sharing.
Okay.
So yeah, when I find out, I will pass that on. So that's news to me as well.
Yeah, I just accidentally, I hit my mouse with my elbow and it clicked on something else. I was like, what is this?
So that says in addition to the current rebate. In addition.
Yeah, it actually says it like this. In addition to our current recruitment offer, we are piloting a second type of rebate that will feature special limited time exclusive offers around holiday shopping.
Okay. Yeah, when I find out that information, I'll pass it on to everybody in the territory. So thanks for giving me a heads up on that. Thanks, Gemma.
No problem. Okay.
All right. Anything else, guys? All right. Well, look, you have a great evening, and I hope to see you next Tuesday. All right, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. All right.
Thanks. Have a good week.
Thank
Have a good
you.
evening. Take
Have
care.
a good night.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.